Welcome! So, we're going to break down how you can take your project planning from, well, basically just risky guesswork and turn it into a predictable, data-driven system. If you are tired of answering, when will it be done, with, a shrug and a prayer, you are definitely in the right place.
I mean, we've all been there, right? A huge project lands on your desk, and the very first question is always, so, when's the deadline? And way too often the answer feels more like a wish than an actual forecast. That's what leads to missed deadlines, totally stressed out teams, and some very frustrated stakeholders.
But what if you had a blueprint to change all of that? Today, we're going to lay out a really simple but powerful method that gives you a reliable way to plan your projects and, maybe just as important, communicate those timelines with some real confidence.
All right, let's get into the mechanics of it. To start forecasting with any kind of accuracy, we really only need to measure two simple things: how fast your team is moving and how big the project actually is.
So first up is velocity. The best way to think about this is as your team's digestive rate. It's not about the work they start doing, it's about the total amount of work, which we measure in story points, that they can consistently finish in a set amount of time, like a 2-week sprint. This one number, it's the foundation for everything else we're going to do.
Okay, so now that we know our speed, we need to figure out the size of the road ahead. This means we have to calculate the project's total weight. And you do this by just going through your entire project backlog and adding up the story points for every single item on that list.
And to make this really concrete, let's use an example as we go through this. We'll just say that after adding everything up, the total weight of your project backlog is 300 points. Nice round number. So we have our speed and we have our size. Now let's put them together. This is the exact moment where the guesswork stops and the data-driven forecasting really begins.
So let's keep our example going. We'll say your team has a nice, stable, average velocity of about 20 points per 2-week sprint. And that's the key word there. It's an average, based on their recent, consistent performance, not just a one-time thing. From here, the math is actually refreshingly simple. You just take the total project points, or 300, and you divide it by the team's velocity, which is 20. That tells you it's going to take about 15 sprints. And if each sprint is 2 weeks long, you just multiply 15 by 2, and you get your answer, 30 weeks.
And just like that, you have your first major win, a data-backed baseline forecast. See, it's not a guess anymore, it's a real calculation, and it's based on your team's actual measured output. Your initial confident answer is 30 weeks.
But, of course, real-world projects are never that clean, are they? So, how do we build a plan that can actually handle the chaos of reality? Well, that brings us right to our next section, planning for the unexpected.
I mean, we all know that life happens. Requirements change, unexpected bugs pop up, priorities get shuffled around. A forecast that has zero room for error is a fragile one, and it's pretty much destined to break. So to account for all these inevitable surprises, you have to add a buffer.
And this right here is how you manage expectations like an absolute pro. Internally, with the team, your target is that 30-week baseline. But to stakeholders, you communicate a range, say 30 to 34 weeks. That little buffer gives your team the flexibility it needs to handle surprises without ever being considered late. It's all about building trust through realistic transparency.
Now this entire system, it's all built on one thing: good data. For this to actually work long-term, that data has to be reliable and, frankly, honest. And that means you have to follow a few simple but totally non-negotiable rules.
The great news is you can get this data super easily from a tool like Jira. The trick is to look at the velocity chart report and focus only on the points for work that was actually completed. You have to ignore what was committed to. For forecasting, only reality matters. A good rule of thumb is to use an average of the last 3 sprints. It helps smooth out any weird weeks. And hey, for more advanced stuff, you can even use tools like Mike Cohn's Velocity Range Calculator to get a best-case/worst-case scenario. And this is crucial. For your velocity data to mean anything, you have to maintain consistency. If you're constantly swapping team members in and out, your velocity is going to be all over the place, making it useless. Same thing goes for your sprint length. If you switch between 1-week and 3-week sprints, your data is compromised. Stability is really the key to reliable forecasting.
So, you see, the real takeaway here isn't just about hitting deadlines. It's about creating a system of predictability. And a system like that, it builds trust with stakeholders, it reduces stress for your team, and ultimately it just empowers everyone to do their best work.
Because when you can reliably and confidently answer that question, when will it be done, well, you change the entire game.